When Jimin quietly released Who in 2024, the music industry wasn't expecting a storm. The song wasn't designed as a stadium anthem. It didn't chase trends. It was quiet, vulnerable, stripped back to its raw emotional core. And maybe that's why people underestimated it. In a market dominated by loud productions and instant TikTok virality, Who was almost a whisper. Soft vocals, an atmospheric instrumental, a haunting melody that clung to the heart. But as months passed, that whisper grew louder. People who discovered it couldn't stop listening. Playlists across the world, from South Korea to Brazil, from Los Angeles to London, kept including it. Slowly, it became not just a K-pop track, but a global song. By September 2025, it achieved what no one thought possible: 400 consecutive days on the Spotify USA Daily Songs chart. Even more, it surpassed 400 million streams, a milestone that very few solo artists in the world ever reach. Jimin's whisper had turned into a roar that even the world's biggest artists could not drown out. One of the most fascinating aspects of Who is that it's sung primarily in Korean. For decades, Western markets were skeptical of non-English music. The rare exceptions, like Despacito in Spanish, were treated as outliers. But Jimin broke that wall. Listeners didn't care that they didn't understand every lyric. They cared about how the song made them feel. And Who made them feel deeply: loneliness, longing, quiet strength, and an ache that was universal. A fan in Chicago wrote on X, "I don't need a translation. Jimin's voice carries the emotion. I know exactly what he means." Another fan from Argentina said, "I listen to Who every night before I sleep. It feels like Jimin is whispering to me that I'll be okay." This is the essence of music: to transcend language, borders, and culture. And Jimin proved it with one song. Back in March 2023, Jimin became the first K-pop soloist in history to top the Billboard Hot 100 with Like Crazy. That moment was already historic, but it left critics asking, was this just lightning in a bottle? 2 years later, Who provided the answer. Unlike Like Crazy, which had the support of promotions, performances, and heavy buzz, Who achieved its success more quietly. There were no flashy campaigns, it wasn't aggressively pushed by his label, yet it lasted longer and it connected deeper. This showed the world that Jimin's artistry wasn't a one-hit wonder, it was a growing force. He wasn't just BTS's vocalist branching out, he was carving his own identity, his own legacy. Music critic Min-Soo Kim from Seoul noted, "Jimin is building the bridge between BTS's group impact and his own solo power. He is both part of the biggest boy band in the world and a solo artist strong enough to stand without them. That duality is rare and precious." Behind Jimin's achievement is a fandom unlike any other. For 400 days straight, armies streamed Who. Not once, not twice, every single day. Fans organized streaming parties, they shared playlists, they taught new listeners how to optimize streams. They monitored charts daily, like watchful guardians. One fan from the Philippines tweeted, "Every day after school, I play Who on repeat. It's my way of saying thank you to Jimin for healing me when I needed it most." Another fan from Germany posted, "We promised Jimin we'd never let his music fade. 400 days later, we kept that promise." This wasn't just fan service, it was devotion, a pact between artist and audience. Jimin gave him his heart in a song, and they gave him history in return. When Spotify USA released the data confirming that Who had charted for 400 consecutive days, the global music industry took notice. American executives who once dismissed K-pop as a fad were suddenly confronted with reality. a Korean soloist had just matched and even outlasted many of their biggest stars on the world's most competitive streaming chart. Rolling Stone Korea wrote, Jimin is no longer competing with K-pop idols. He's competing with the Drakes, the Taylor Swifts, the Weekends, and holding his ground. This achievement wasn't just about numbers. It was about rewriting industry rules. Jimin had proven that you don't need to conform to Western formulas to succeed in Western markets. Interestingly, Jimin himself hasn't made a big statement about this milestone. No celebratory live, no long post, just silence. But fans know him well. Jimin has always been humble, choosing to let the music speak for itself, and so armies filled the silence for him. Hashtags like #Jimin 400 days on Spotify and #OurEternalWho trended worldwide. Fans made art, edits, tribute videos, and heartfelt letters. It became more than a celebration of numbers. It became a collective love letter to Jimin himself. This milestone arrives at a crucial time. BTS has already announced a new album and world tour in 2026, their first full project after completing military service. For ARMY, Jimin's solo achievement is a symbol of strength during the group's transitional phase. While the world awaits their reunion, Jimin has kept the flame burning. Industry insiders believe this success will influence BTS's upcoming project. With Jimin proving the power of emotional, timeless music, many speculate the group's comeback will lean into sincerity and artistry rather than chasing quick, viral hits. What makes Who legendary isn't just the numbers, it's the story. Songs usually burn fast and fade. They go viral, they peak, and they vanish. But Who resisted. It clung to life, not because of hype, but because of genuine connection. People listened not just for entertainment, but for comfort. Not just for background noise, but for survival. And that's why it will be remembered, not just as a charting song, but as a song that lived. Fans are buzzing with questions. Will Jimin drop another solo album before BTS's comeback? Could he collaborate with a Western artist now that his name dominates global charts? Will he aim for another Billboard Hot 100 #1 like he did with Like Crazy? Nobody knows for sure, but one thing is clear. Jimin has already set the bar higher than ever. In the end, Who is not just a song. It's a moment, a memory, a movement. It's the proof that Jimin's artistry is timeless, that BTS's members are not just idols, but legends in the making, even on their own. 400 days, 400 million streams, countless hearts healed. This is the story of Who, the sound that refused to fade. And maybe, just maybe, it's only the beginning. For many artists, chart positions come and go. A few weeks at the top, then a slow slide into obscurity. But Jimin's Who is different. It's not about peaks, but about endurance. According to Spotify data, Who averaged over 1 million daily streams worldwide across 2024 and 2025. On US charts, it maintained a stable position for 400 consecutive days, competing with heavyweight tracks from Drake, Olivia Rodrigo, The Weeknd, and Bad Bunny. Analysts note this is almost unheard of for a Korean language song. Even BTS's biggest group hits like Dynamite and Butter had their explosive peaks, but eventually slipped away. Who stayed? Not because of massive promotions, but because of steady, organic listening. One industry insider commented to Billboard Korea, "The fact that Who survived without radio play, without TV performances, without huge marketing campaigns, shows just how powerful Jimin's fan-driven impact really is. It's grassroots, it's global, and it's unstoppable." Behind the Spotify triumph is a story of discipline and love. ARMY didn't just listen, they strategized. Global fan bases created spreadsheets for optimized streaming schedules. They made guides teaching others how to stream without bot behavior, ensuring numbers were counted fairly. They set alarms to replay Who daily, sometimes even through shared streaming parties across different time zones. In Brazil, ARMY has organized Who Nights, where fans gathered in cafes to listen together. In Japan, fans handed out streaming QR codes in subway stations. In the Philippines, entire student groups dedicated their study breaks to looping the song. A fan leader from Mexico shared online, "We didn't stream for clout. We streamed because this song deserved eternity. We wanted to build something history couldn't ignore, and history listened." Why did this song in particular resonate so deeply? Part of the answer lies in Jimin's voice. Soft yet piercing, fragile yet strong. It carried a vulnerability rare in pop music. His tone made listeners feel as though he was confiding in them personally. Lyrically, Who spoke of searching, of questioning, of longing. Fans interpreted it as Jimin's reflection on identity, love, and belonging, questions that mirrored their own lives. A Korean cultural critic wrote, "Jimin has always embodied contrast, strength and delicacy, stage charisma and private shyness. Who captured that duality perfectly, making it universally relatable. It became the song people listened to at night when they felt alone, the track that played during breakups, during quiet subway rides, during study sessions, during personal struggles. In other words, Who became a companion."